Twice in my lifetime, the person with the most votes didn't become president. And that wasn't a fluke, it was how the system was built. The Electoral College was never designed to reflect a direct national vote. Back in 1787, the founders didn't fully trust either Congress or the public to choose the president outright. So they struck a balance. Electors, chosen by each state, would cast votes, separately in their own states, adding a layer of judgment and limiting outside influence, they thought. Over time, states took control of the process. The Constitution gives state legislatures the power to decide how electors are appointed. And by the 1830s, most had moved to winner-take-all rules, where the narrowest victory in a state can mean sweeping all of its electoral votes. And that shift wasn't actually written into the Constitution. It was a political evolution. Quick note here. If you want to talk about topics like this with other people, I'm holding a couple of small Zoom conversations in December. You can find details through the link in my profile. All right, back to the video. In 1800, the system nearly broke. Yeah, there was barely a system, and it was already breaking. Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr tied in the Electoral College, and the House deadlocked through 35 ballots before Jefferson finally won on the 36th. That crisis led to the 12th Amendment, creating separate votes for president and vice president. In 2000, the outcome hinged on a razor-thin margin in Florida. Weeks of recounts ended when the Supreme Court stopped the process. George W. Bush won the Electoral College, while Al Gore won the national popular vote by about 500,000. Then in 2016, it happened again. Donald Trump won the Electoral College but lost the national vote by nearly 3 million. That result brought the whole system back into question. Some argue it still works. It gives states a defined role in choosing the president and forces candidates to campaign beyond major population centers. Others say it distorts the process, turning a handful of battleground states into kingmakers and weakening the link between how Americans vote and who actually wins. In 2020, something different happened. The race was close, but the real crisis came after the election. A coordinated effort tried to pressure state officials to overturn certified results. That moment didn't change the Constitution, but it did lead to new federal law. In 2022, Congress passed the Electoral Count Reform Act. It clarified that the vice president's role is ceremonial, and it tightened the timeline for resolving disputes and raised the bar for objections in Congress. So what now? Well, one path is a constitutional amendment, though that's unlikely. Another is a compact among states. If enough states join, they pledge to award their electors to whoever wins the national vote. As of this year, that agreement has 209 electoral votes, but it needs 270 to take effect. Others propose changing how states award their votes. Proportional methods or district-based systems like in Maine and Nebraska. Still, others want to reimagine the vote entirely, using ranked choice to reflect broader support. Each of these would face legal, political, and logistical hurdles, and none would solve everything. The framers built a process to protect a fragile system. We've adjusted it again and again, and answered the question at its heart. Should a president be chosen by the people or by the states? And does that distinction still serve us in 2025?